Hello everyone, let's get back to the book block and the covers. Both have been dried. If you are wondering how do you know if your material, your book block, your prepped pages, whatever, have completely dried, if they feel cool to the touch but not moist, they are still not completely dry. Like there are still some pages here closer to the end and to the beginning where I can feel a little bit of a coolness, so it's not completely dried, but from the middle it is dried, luckily. However, what I did to the book block was, after it was dried overnight, as you can see, the spine is very hardy. If you try to wiggle the block now, it doesn't really wiggle. It is very sturdy, and also it opens in a friendly manner, as it should, completely, as you can see. And honestly, you don't even necessarily, at this point, you don't even necessarily need covers unless you want to put. I do want to, because somehow it feels like this one is not complete without the covers. Now, you probably remember just how floppy the covers were. I did add very fibrous paper here to kind of like where you would have the seams, so called, because they were very frail, and there were points from which it was just completely busted. I did paint, there's a short, I think 2 shorts I made when I was painting the covers in this beautiful dark red, kind of a purplish dark eggplant color. This is actually my favorite color, this very deep maroon-ish, warm but not warm, just deep, very deep red. And I mixed a random, just, you know, a blue and yellow that I had, and whoopsie daisies, I got something that was very close to the original. Here's the original green. It practically camouflaged it, and it does show some texture, which is lovely. I think I might do something else with the covers still, I don't know, but eventually I think I'll just, you know, varnish them with a matte varnish, just so that, you know, that slightly sticky feeling that you get from acrylic paint dissipates by using matte medium, matte varnish, matte something. However, the cover is now, this is very sturdy, this is very strong. There's going to be no issues using this. I think we need a little bit more light here. Let's bring in some light. Lord of light. There. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we are going to bring these 2 lovelies back to their intended holy matrimony, like so. But first we need to trim the end papers. I was talking about end papers the last time, and if you don't have mulberry paper, and if you're living in a kind of a secluded remote area like I am, and you actually have to drive someplace or order from someplace to get some mulberry paper, what you can use is coffee filter paper and tea bags, especially, you know, if you have the if you have the long ones that you can put on a pot, you know, the loose leaf tea, very good with bookbinding. They are very fibrous, and both of them, coffee filters and the tea bags, they are created to withstand the moisture. So very good indeed. So you can use that. But first, what I did was I I glued some end papers. I was talking about the end papers last time. I think it was last time or the time before. And so this is a, I think it's a 100 GSM thickness of paper. This is watermarked Heritage Croxley. I still have some left. Very nice paper, very strong, very kind of sturdy. This is hot pressed, smooth, goes wonderfully with book binding. I took a piece of paper, folded it in half, and as mentioned, I just glued a very thin strip at the end of a book block and I press it down. Same to the other side. Now you can trim the end papers beforehand. To me it's counterproductive because you're going to be gluing them regardless. So I think it's always best to trim them after the fact. And you can see it goes a little bit over, so we need to tend to that. So what I always use is a ruler, a metallic ruler, and I'm going to use the pages, obviously, of the book block, and then just slice through. I actually have a cutting mat, but I have a very needy kitty cat on my lap. I don't want to shake the boat, so to speak, because then she'll start screaming, and that wouldn't be good. And I can do this just, you know, like this. The table luckily can take it. It's solid wood, so I don't mind. Furniture is made for the living, not the other way around. And how do I? She's very interested when it comes to these cotton remains. They're very good potential. This would be so much easier. Wait a minute. Maybe I can do something completely unorthodox. I'm going to. This is what I do with my hand-bound journals oftentimes, especially when you have a thicker block. Now it's that much more sturdier. Luckily I just reinforced it because, you know, otherwise this puppy would have crumbled. Ergonomically this is not the best choice, but we'll do what we can. Anything to not disturb the cat. Now you see the other side is completely falling in line with the rest of the papers. Very nice and neat, you know, considering it is not a nice and neat book to begin with. Nor will it be in the end, but when it comes to gluing the end pages, it's going to help significantly. if I had a third hand, I could support the pages much better. Since I don't, we'll have to make do. So the view might not be the best, but here we go, regardless. And the last one. Let's use scissors to get the this one from closest to the binding. There we go. Now the original end pages are still there. So what we have is end pages glued on top of original end pages. I don't think I care too much, because I think majority of these are going to get glued together to begin with, just to, you know, strengthen the structure of the book. Now here comes the crucial moment. You will need to, by the way, the dress survived from, you know, last video. You need to position the book block onto the covers, and you need to position it so that the end, usually you would have end tape here. Here we don't have an end tape, we just have the block, but you need to see that it is perfectly in the middle of everything. I'm just going to rip this away, kind of it bothers me, like a useless tab with absolutely no use whatsoever. It was from when I was gluing the pages together and adding some, you know, random ephemera just because I was too eager to start. But what you need to do is, now you need to be mindful, is the positioning of a book block, you know, with the consensus of the covers, because when you open the book, you will need to be able to open it. Now I can say that, you know, already it is going to be a very tight fit, and sometimes, especially with older books, and you know, a telltale sign is when you already can see that there is some, you know, the loosening of the structure and ripping off, then something might have gone amiss. And usually the issue is that the back plate here is a tad bit too long. And like I noticed when I was doing this, but already, you know, the wood block is, you know, nice and steady here. I want to keep as much of the original base as it has, but this line in between the spine and the covers should be just a, smidgen longer. Then you don't have to make the spine plate as wide, because if it is too wide and you open the book, it will rip, from the seam over here. How you can remedy this is to make this rounder. So when you let this dry, usually you have something round, you dry it over. But I use my PVA glue is a tad more elastic than your usual wood glue. It is a woodworking glue. It's very good. It's very sturdy and strong. So I have no issues just, manipulating ever so, gently and making this just a little bit rounder. And already you see the shape of the spine is different. And now we can try it on again. The spine should never really be completely, straight. Let's try again. You just take a couple of pages from either end, shimmy your fingers close to the spine, and then you open and you see that you can physically open. And as you can see, the back plate needs to bend quite much. So let's make it even more malleable. Oh gosh, no. She's climbing on my shoulder now. Hold on. I have a cat emergency. So sorry. We'll just have to see how it goes. But what we do is we need to oh, how clever. Actually, you know what? Now that I pressed this, I pressed the spine and the spine collapsed just a little bit. I now see the spine is much too narrow, about 4 millimeters too narrow, because I've taken pages from the book. This is why you should strengthen the spine first and foremost when you start, because it will have an effect on the book block itself. So now the spine is too thick for this. Interesting. What to do? You know what? I think I'm going to take some tape. I have the brown paper tape. I think it's coated with a bit of plastic or something. It's very sturdy, and you can't use just PVA glue because it doesn't stick with this. You need to use textile glue or something other. I have stronger glue that I use with this one, but it can withstand a little bit of strain. Let's put it this way. Because usually what would happen here is we would glue this page thoroughly and then just close the book, press it, flip it over, glue this page, press it, and leave it be. And only after it's dried we will give it a wiggle and a try. Yeah. But I was thinking, what if I use the tape and make up the missing, you know what, I'm just going to use the book block as is, use the covers until the block thickens to the point that I can start using the covers, and then glue them. I think that's the right way to go about it. I was thinking, okay, now I'm getting annoyed. She's just climbing all over me, and you know, she's used to me always, you know, picking her up. She's never really fallen down. So she's kind of acting erratically. I'm not going to glue the book block now to the covers. And I'm not going to MacGyver it to the back side either. And I want to keep the old covers as is. I'm just going to wait till the block itself fattens up somewhat, and I might just, you know, use this as a storage, or maybe I will somehow take some cardboard, build edges here and here, paint them, and make it kind of like a box in which to slide the book block. No, that's too neurotic. I'm not going to do that. Anyways, I'll figure that out. But for now, I do have the book block, which is wonderful. It's been reinforced. I can carry on. And then I have separate covers for the book block. I might do something else about it too. I'll show you something else that I've done this year. I was doing a couple of books late last year. This is a kind of a drawing paper, and I made, I think there's 400 or 500 pages here. I don't remember. But this is Nikolai Gogol selected work here, and I left the decolled edges, and I made a book. I have a ribbon and all, and I was thinking of, you know, giving these away. They open in a very friendly manner. I haven't trained the spine, but you know, eventually they are going to be opening in a very, very friendly way. And I have, you know, some of these puppies, they're my little friends. I do absolutely nothing with them. I like them, I like to look at them, but honestly, I have so many sketchbooks. I have so many. I have so much stuff that it is time to start using them as well. And I do use my notebooks. I have quite a few notebooks on the go, and now I just made this altered book as well, and I want to start using this. And the reason why I want to start using this is because to me it's almost like returning back to childhood. I never really had a proper childhood per se, you know, for various different reasons. I never felt the sense of liberty to just, you know, go and play. I never really had the time nor the space, and I was born 500 years old approximately, and I think it's you know, it's very healthy to return to that idea of giving yourself freedom to just, you know, splash some paint and glue and do different papers and things and stuff without giving it that much of a thought, really. But yeah, here are a few of my favorite things. I'm wishing everyone a wonderful day, wonderful everything, and I think the block is now prepared. I have to admit I'm a little bit miffed that I didn't get to glue, because, you know, this is, I don't know, what is the favorite part of bookbinding? I was just thinking, I don't know. Maybe it is, you know, if you create a book and you do the back side and everything, and you do it, you know, by the book, when honestly I have to say I'm pretty partial. I mean, my current Dear Diary is again with deckled edges, and it's a book block. I just glued some watercolor paper here and glued this year's planner. I mean, this is not really a planner, just calendar, and I don't remember. She was another creator on YouTube. I wish I remembered her name. Unfortunately, the name escapes me. But you know, I just use these book blocks. I find this interesting, and this is a very abnormal size. I like the golden ratio, plus then some, you know, in a vertical manner. I like the more narrow books and the longer books visually. I like the elongated shape. I find it visually very pleasing. That's why I like the art from Modigliani greatly. I've always adored art from Modigliani and Chagall, just because, you know, who doesn't love flying blue goats and angels and, you know, the whimsy. Anyways, so this is, if memory serves me right, 147 millimeters in width approximately, because I ripped the pages, and length is 27 point something, 27 point something is so yeah. Anyways, so I just used what I had, and I just started this at the beginning of this year. So it's paper from a, you know, roll of paper. It's a paper for drawing. I haven't yet tried any paints with this, because this is practically my writing journal. But at the back side I have this is drawing, and I think, was it watercolor paper? It's just, you know, random paper I had, and I used it. And I usually like the off-white variety. But then I also have, here are my did the covers myself back in the days. They've been patina just a tad. But I have my first quarter planner here, and then my weeklies and, you know, dailies. These are created by myself, and I hand stitched the you know, the covers here, and there's always going to be some ink splashes everywhere. So I do have quite a few notebooks on the go, and then I have the little one that I think, yeah, this is Moleskine. I have some Moleskine paper inside. I like it because it's only 60 GSM, and you can actually ram quite a few pages here. So even while this is quite small of a notebook, this is my on-the-go. You can ram up quite a few pages, and you can actually carry a lot of, you know, different stuff here. Information, you know, coming from, you know, shopping things, what you need from the grocery store, and reminders, and just, you know, daily jots, what you need to remember when you're out and about. So creating these new lovelies is not exactly a thing I need, but it is something that brings me joy and pleasure. So I shall continue and carry on to do just that. And I'm wishing everyone a wonderful rest of the day or evening or beginning of your days or night. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.